Tonight's guest is Ellecia, and I think you're going to really enjoy hearing about her testimony as to what she's been able to see. Oh, I just want to also mention that we have clinics. We're going to get a map going where people can click on various areas so they can find out where the clinics are for that have our technology all over the US and into Canada. But I did have an ask for Canada, particularly Ontario. There is two locations. Well, there's actually three locations. One in Elmer, Ontario, another one in downtown Toronto, and one out towards the east end of Toronto. So if you're looking and you want to try this technology out, you can always call our office or email us, and we will try and link you to a clinic that's close in your area. So with that being said, we want to welcome our guest Ellecia on. And Ellecia, can you turn on your video? And hey, there we go.
Okay, I'm doing well, thanks.
That's good. That's good. So, Ellecia, how did you hear about light therapy? What happened there?
Well, I heard about the SunPower LED listening to Neil, my favorite guy,
Okay.
on WDCX. Yes,
That's a Christian radio station out of Buffalo, New York.
that's right. Yes. And so when you talk about it, then I came online and I listened to one of your programs, just as how I'm on with you now, and I listened to the whole thing for the whole time. And I said, oh, that's interesting. So you showed about someone who had an accident with an axe on his foot.
Yeah.
And I goes, wow, that's amazing. So anyway, I left it alone for a while. And in February of 2023, I had to go to the hospital to have open heart surgery to replace the aortic valve.
Okay.
Yeah, because, that was causing a little bit of a problem. And so I had that replaced and I came out back. And then I said, oh, this would be a good time to order one of the machines. So I did. I ordered the machine in June of 2023, and I started using it the same time the machine came, the Friday, and
Right.
So I was given instructions of how to use the machine.
And that was for your your surgery that you just had.
After. And so all the chest area, after surgery, you don't look so good.
Right.
And I had keloids. Now I remember the name. And all that was there. So I put it on Friday. It was in the afternoon, and she said 3 minutes, then 5 minutes, take it off. And so I tried it the next day, the Saturday, the same thing and stuff. On Sunday morning, when I wake up, they cut the sternum, and then they cut down below and in the middle and stuff. And in the stuff in the middle, when Sunday morning, when I wake up, I was totally shocked. All of that stuff was gone.
And this is something with keloids, you have the buildup of tissue.
Yes.
And it can last, that can be a lifetime.
Yes, it can. And so I started using it. And then the upper part, it was really like sticking out really thick. So now it's going down very thin. After I'll take a picture to show you. It's still working on it. And so it went well.
Very good.
And so couple of months later, I I went to the emergency because I said I don't know what was happening. So I went there for them to check it out to make sure that I'm okay. And so the results came back was you're doing really good. This is amazing. You know, you are healing so good. And so you could see all the wires. I think there were wires attached to keep the bones back together. And they were amazed at how fast that I was healing.
That
So I
for
was
my,
really,
I'll just say for myself, when I had the when I had the when I had COVID and I had the double lung pneumonia, they were shocked 2.5 weeks later when they reviewed my x-rays. They said, your lungs are healing amazingly well.
yeah,
It wasn't normal for them to see somebody change in 2.5 weeks from where I was. And I was really bad shape. My blood oxygen was 80%. So I was almost on the edge of not being around to interview you. That's how close it was. But
yeah,
I used the light on my lungs, and that changed things quite a bit. So
yeah.
tell me a little more about now that you've been working with it. What other kinds of things have you
It
used?
just it gave me energy. 6 weeks after surgery, I was back driving. I was driving, and in August, it's January, and July, August, and in August I was outside cutting the grass and raking leaves and everything, and the neighbors thought I had lost my mind. I can't believe someone who has had just a major surgery looks like nothing happened.
Right, right.
And the next door neighbor, she's right. I'm at 116, she's at 118, and she's still recovering, and she's not as strong as I am. And I'm cutting her grass. And she had a quadruple bypass. Yeah. So I'm running around, running up and down the stairs and everything. And yeah.
That's
And
beautiful.
nothing. Never had swollen ankles, nothing swollen. It's like everybody goes like, "Are you sure you had this?" Yes, and
Well,
so it was here. It was great. It was
we
just great.
also have the one fellow that a good friend of mine who had open heart surgery, and they took the veins from his leg and his arm, and when he used the light on a daily basis on his chest, and 1 month later it was so beautiful. It healed. The funny part was he likes to wear long pants, and so he decided he would just treat once a week with his legs and or his leg, and but his arm and his chest he treated daily, and the difference was huge. On some of the older videos, on some of the older podcasts, I show that picture once in a while, and it's just amazing to see how much better his front chest and his arm did, but his leg was still puckery. It didn't look nice, it was still red and a few other things. So yeah, it's really quite amazing. So you used it for some other applications too. What else did
Yes,
you use it for?
I worked it. I ran a residential and commercial cleaning business for over 26 years, and constantly using the right hand all the time. So I got trigger fingers, so they were stuck, they were bent, and so I had operation on those, and they were telling me that probably in a couple of years I might have the same problem again.
Right?
Right in the joints, in right there in the joints of those fingers, the marks are still there. And so it started to come back. And in the nighttime, I just put the palm thing on, and now it's working. Before, I can't even open the bottle. I have to ask my daughter to open the bottle. And now I can make my fists and I can open the bottles and the pain is gone. There's pain all the way around here because all around the thumb because I was getting arthritis pain all here where you couldn't shake my hand. I couldn't shake hand.
Right.
Now I can shake hand. Yeah, because it was so bad. And now yeah, I'm living easy with that. I use it on my knees. I can go up the stairs and come down. It's a big problem. And
Did
I
you
use
had trouble with your knees then?
I had trouble with my knees. I couldn't run up and down the stairs as I used to. And I use it on that and I use it on my back. Have back problem, even right in the forehead area here. There was a bump that was growing there. And I went to the doctors with it and I says, there's something growing right there in my head. Can you? And he said, okay, I will send you to the specialist for them to take a look at it. And the time that they gave me, it was like, okay, I got the requisition, I said in January, but I wasn't going to see her until May. And I started using the LED and I had to phone and cancel the appointment. There was nothing there for them to look at. It was all gone.
Isn't that fascinating? I mean,
Yeah.
just think of it. You're saving the healthcare system a
Yeah.
lot of money.
Yeah. It was all gone. There was nothing for her to look at. So I just phone and cancel and tell her there was nothing there. It's all gone.
Maybe you should have kept the appointment just to say there was something here, but it's not there anymore.
There was, yeah, because I've called my family doctor and I said it's all gone, you know. So yeah, I just canceled. I said there's nothing there now. Yeah,
Well,
so it's really good. And on top of my head here, all here was all bald. There was no hair. I was I was taking the blood pressure medication and I started losing hair. And I would wear my hat all the time. And I started to use the machine a little bit. I was using the machine because I was trying to get rid of uh, this headache that I was getting all the time.
right.
Uh, I had vertigo.
Okay.
The vertigo hit me while I was in church. I was just standing in church worshiping and stuff, and I find that I lost control of my head. It was going around so fast, and I didn't want to throw up in church. So I slowly sat down and I started to pray and said, God, help me that this stops. And slowly it went away, and I texted my friends to tell them to come pick me up because something is happening. I didn't want to cause any commotion in the church and
Right.
stuff. So I slowly went out into the atrium and sat down. And when I sat down, a lady was sitting in front of me and she said, there's something wrong. She said, I'm sitting here for a purpose because I know God has spoken to me, and here you come right to me. And what you just had was what they call vertigo. That's the first time in my life I'm going to hear vertigo.
Wow.
And I
Isn't
go,
that
what?
that's wild. It's really something when I feel God opens a door for somebody to connect. I'll just
Yeah.
share with you one situation. I was in Dubai and I my son-in-law, we just went into the Persian Gulf to go have a short swim. It was rather cold, so we didn't do it very long. And then it was a really nice place we were at. There was three different pools in three different areas, and we just ended up going to the one pool that was a little further
Mhm.
along. And and we got into that pool, and it was nice, but we weren't there very long. And come out, and the one person said, "Hey, where are you from?" And she says, I says, "Well, I'm actually from this is in Dubai." And the person's and I says, "Well, we're from Canada." And they said, "Oh, we are too." And then she said, "What? Where are you from?" I says, "Well, I'm near Toronto." And she says, "Well, we're in Oakville." And then we started talking a little bit more. And then we both figured out that we were both Christians. And she said, and then we started talking, well, what brings you here? And they were in the aerospace industry. They make their company makes landing gear. At least that's what they for the big planes and that. And we're talking a little bit more. And I says, well, I'm here with some medical technology and to get rid of pain. And all of a sudden, they both start crying. And as it turns out, she was in severe pain, and her husband was just minutes earlier praying that somehow his wife would be able to be freed up from some pain. And here we show up. I, I loaned them the light, and I heard from them later on that I met them on the plane actually on the way back. I said, I'll get it back from you when we're back in Canada. And she said it significantly reduced my pain that day, amazingly, that I was able to do this show and be on my feet all day. And her husband said my shoulder, the pain that he had in his shoulder was totally gone. So it's neat when you get these situations where you're at the right place at the right
Right
time
time.
to
Yeah.
meet somebody that's in need for that special thing. So, sorry, I
Yeah.
interrupted, but you said vertigo. So, what happened then?
So I said, oh, so I thought seriously, like I was dying or something really serious because I was really scared. And she said, no, that's what it is. It's vertigo and stuff. So she was telling me all about that. So I said, okay. Um, and so I kind of kept quiet about it because I was told that if you tell the doctor that you have vertigo, they can take away your driver's license. So I kept quiet about it and I'm praying. And every time when I go into the car, I always pray before I drive. And so I went out one afternoon running errands and stuff, and it started hitting me then. And I had to pull over. I think I pull over to a gas station and just sit there for a while and pray and ask the Lord to help me that I get home. And so it stopped and I went home. And when I got the machine, I said, okay, when I heard on your program that it can take away vertigo, I just came home and I just plugged myself into it. In the nighttime, when I lie down in bed, I put it in the back of my head, all the way around there. I put it in the top of my head. I put it the ear. I covered myself with it. And now the vertigo, it's been a year now or more. I haven't had.
That is beautiful. One younger lady that had really bad vertigo showed up. She had migraines and then vertigo. It was she started using the light, and she was in the same position as you were talking about how bad it was that she was concerned about even being able to drive. And she used the light, and within 1 month, her vertigo was gone, but also so were the migraines.
Yeah,
And she was able to keep the migraines at bay and not have to suffer migraines anymore. And then eventually, it was just like once in a while she used the treatment, but all of that was behind her, and she
yeah,
was thrilled. She was
all of
absolutely
that.
thrilled.
Yeah, it's gone. And I'm a daredevil. I like to do things. So one summer, about a summer ago or two, I got in the car and I drive from Toronto all the way to Columbus, Ohio on my own.
Whoa.
And nothing happened. I was just steady, calm, cool, nothing. I drive there and drive back. And so I love it. It's keeping me going. Anytime any little aches happen, I go to it. I'm telling my neighbor about it. My neighbor was using it for a while when he had serious pain because he was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and also the cancer had gone into the kidneys and stuff. So he was using it to help to relieve the pain.
Yeah, some people have been able to use it for that,
Yeah,
to help relieve the pain because it does help with reducing pain that way too, even in later stage
yeah, later
situations like
stage.
that.
And then he
Um,
passed away. Yeah.
I will. You brought up a point that I'll mention too. Is you were driving and that triggered a thought in my mind. Is there has been some people that have asked, well, I have these. Let's say they have knee pain and they're a passenger or something. You can the palm light if you buy one of those adapters that plugs into the lighter socket. It'll provide you 120 volts. So now
Oh,
you can plug the adapter in. You can plug
yeah, yeah.
this adapter
Okay.
into the 120 volt adapter that plugs into the lighter socket, and now you can use it. Now, I can't recommend it if you're driving, especially the last thing you want to do is be using if you're driving,
Bright lights,
to be. I can't
passenger.
suggest anybody is going to be using this while they're driving, especially in the bright red position in the middle of the night. Might be not the best idea in the world, but you definitely can use the near infrared and do some great treatments with the near infrared without lighting up the car inside and harming the driver's vision while they're
Yeah.
driving. So I just want to mention that that's something that I know some other people are doing and
Wow.
helping themselves while they're driving. I mean, sorry, while they're a passenger.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Let's so. But anyways, yeah. And you found it helpful and you grew some hair in which,
Yeah, because the here uh, it started to grow again at the sides. I
yeah.
was using it because all here was all bald, and now there's hair there. And then the hairdresser says to me, "Your hair is growing."
That's beautiful. I do have another.
She said it has increased.
Yeah, another woman that I know that has been on our podcast a long time ago. She was able to use the palm, and she used it over her head for another issue that she had. There was a lesion in her brain that was causing her great distress. She wasn't able to sleep properly, and a number of other things. And she started using the light on her head, and she was shocked that she got her hair back where she had to go to the hairdresser to get the hair trimmed up and nice again. So it's possible to grow a hair back with this as well.
And it wasn't something that I was using on a regular basis. It's every once in a while, maybe a month, 2 months, I would put it there. And then when I do, give it a couple of days or something, I goes, "Ooh, it's not gray, it's black."
Hey, we're
The
going to show,
hair is
just for
coming
the
back.
listeners here, we're going to show the picture here that you sent to us. Thank you for sharing this picture. But
Yeah, see that's the on the yeah, that's the hair growing back there. Up there was no hair all the way back, so I put it back, and now that's the hair, all the black hair coming back.
oh,
Yeah,
beautiful. Beautiful.
yes.
Thank you for sharing that. I know this is sensitive pictures, but you know what? There's so many people here that that will tell somebody who's that's a big challenge. You know. So you've helped your neighbors. Any other neighbors that you helped that you remember?
I helped my cousin. She's diagnosed with um diabetes and eye problem and all the rest, and I don't know who she was talking to, but I told her to use the machine, and let it happen. But somebody told her that it was a tanning machine or something. You probably
Oh,
get
yeah, it's too
cancer.
bad. It's too
And
bad
so
people
she
don't.
goes, I don't want to see it again. And I'm telling her, I keep telling her that it's helping. I haven't stopped telling her that,
Well,
that it's working.
it's been pretty neat. We've been able to not only help diabetic foot ulcers and problems like that, but other issues with diabetes and healing. And it's also there's another connection that I have where they found that they can improve the blood sugars with the light treatment. So, anyways, there's many uses on the body for this, and it's neat. So, I've got to go back into the other stuff here and just answer some questions. So, is there any other thoughts you had before we call it quits tonight?
Um, I would say that anybody who has any kind of ache or something is to try and see, because I have a 90, she turns 90, 95 years young on Valentine's Day. And she had the pain. And I travel from my house to go downtown to give her. And she says, "Oh, I could have hugged you, girl. The pain gone." So I just love to go share it with other people,
Hmm.
to tell them that this works. Yeah. So I'm sharing it with everybody that has a complaint, So I have another cousin who lives in Alberta. Um, the husband, he's got MS. He has So I told her about the Sun Power. I don't know if she has contacted you yet, but
Right.
she says, "Oh my, I'm looking into this."
Okay.
And they are
Yeah,
not old couple because yeah, he got Parkinson's. Yeah, he's got Parkinson's and he also has prostate cancer. The
hmm,
prostate was removed and
right.
stuff. So I called her and told her about the Sun Power and what it is doing for me.
Yeah.
So she was really anxious about it. So I told her that you can go online and see. So I don't know if she's on tonight. I told her they come on Tuesdays.
Yeah,
It's a
we've been.
different timing in her
Yeah,
end
yeah.
than
So
it is here.
I'll just mention for if you are that listener, we've got a lot of people on tonight. If you are that person with MS, we've been able to see strengthening in the legs, not a reversal of the MS issues, but definitely an improvement. So that's something that you could possibly see. Anyways, Ellecia, I want to thank you so much for coming
You're
on. What we're
welcome.
going to do next is we're going to just take a quick break, commercial break, and then we're going to get into answering some questions. But people are thanking you, Ellecia, for coming on tonight and sharing your story. So thank you very
I love
much.
it. Okay,
Okay.
thanks, Tom.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Okay. Bye for now.
Bye.
Okay, so we're going to get into questions in a few minutes, but we're just going to go into this quick video and then go from there. PBM stands for Photobiomodulation. Photo being light, bio being biology, and light, well, light coming from some kind of source. In this case, PBM is used to help stimulate healing in the body, whether it's an LED, whether it's a laser, whether it's the sun, but that light comes through the skin layers and actually the cells are able to absorb that light, converting it to energy, and then there's a host of different processes that are stimulated because of that light. So you can speed up healing, you can do different things that is very beneficial for the cells themselves, for healing, for reduction of inflammation, and a host of other things. Kerber USA is a company that we have set up to promote healing for the US and around the world. We would like to see this technology help a lot of people. We use LED technology where we can provide high amounts of light into the body, and that stimulates healing. I'd like to introduce you to the SunPower LED Palm Ultimate. This device here has the most power of the series of devices. This light can produce a huge amount of light that can enter into the body and help speed up that healing. In this device, we have two different wavelengths. It's 660 nanometer, and as you can see, it's very bright, but it's very effective. You will cause a systemic effect with this wavelength of light. The other wavelength is 810. It's not very visible, but it penetrates very deep, and that can help as well reach the target that you're trying to reach. The main part about this light is that we have the power behind it and the large surface area that can reach very deep into the body. We believe that our product is the most powerful LED cluster under the sun. We have specification of this device of 150 milliwatts per square centimeter, and that is over this entire area of 40 square centimeters. It also provides a wall of light that comes through the skin and is able to reach depths that have never been able to be done before with other light products on the market. There's an interesting biblical passage in Malachi 4:2 that talks about the healing that comes from the rays of the sun. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to provide healing with these rays. PBM has also been shown in various studies to be able to help promote healing in wounds such as diabetic ulcers, venous ulcers, and other areas where cuts or burns or other types of wounds are on the skin level. If you have any questions about PBM and how our light device, the SunPower LED Palm series, can help you, please reach out to us and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Well, I hope you enjoyed that conversation that we were able to have with Ellecia. And I'm going to answer some of these questions now, but I'll just get into just a quick few minutes here talking about our product. So we have the Palm Professional, and then the Ultimate is 25% more power. So it has a little more that can go in, and it also can help with speeding up the treatment as well. So you can see it going right through my hand right now. That's how powerful it is. And then we have the near infrared, which you can't really see. You can barely see it here. I can just see a little glow here. That's the 810 nanometer. When we get to the 1050, again, I can't, there's the red, and here's the near infrared. And again, I can't see it at all. And but what we are seeing is the near infrared, the indicator light. There's an indicator on light to say how it's running, because people in the very beginning were telling us that, hey, the unit's not working. Well, it was working. It just that they didn't see anything coming from it. So we have those devices. We have the panel as well, which is the foot square type unit. And then we have the our helmet, SunPower LED helmet, and it's got the two wavelengths, red, and so it just goes on like that. And then we have the near infrared, which just gives you a little bit of a purplish glow you can see in the background there from the device. Actually, if I turned off my, you probably see it. Well, you don't really see it there. You see a little bit of purplish there. So that's the red and near infrared. We have the super helmet, which is 660 and 1050 nanometer, and that's the 1050 is a little longer wavelength with the potential to go a little deeper. So that's our different products, and we have like the mini canopy, and then we have the very large canopy as well. So now I'm going to go into answering questions. If you've got some questions you want to send, we've got some questions showing up, so I'll go to the top here and let's see. Okay, person Betty is asking, can you give more details about what kind of adapter you can use in the car? It's usually they come as a little square block. Some of them look a little different. That they actually have the lighter socket attached to the block, but a lot of them have a little short cord on them, and then they'll have a lighter socket. You plug it in the lighter socket, and then there's a 120-volt outlet on the side, and they work great. You don't have to go with a lot of power, like even 75 watts, 100 watts of one of these adapters, and you can get them at most automotive stores, Walmart, and you can find them around, and you can buy them off of Amazon as well. But it basically takes 12 volts and converts it to 120 volts, and now you have 120 volts inside the car. Some of the newer cars will have an outlet. It's pretty decent when they do, and you can just plug it in directly that way. So, and it's not very expensive. They'll run anywhere from the low end of about $30 all the way to about $70, but you don't have to spend a lot of money to get that to work and work well. Your requirement for the power adapter is only about 30 watts from this type of device. So 75 to 100 watts is more than enough to run it. You run a palm light. So hopefully that answers that question. Ralph mentions hello, 7 a.m. 18th February from Thailand, doing the super palm every day. That's great to hear from Thailand. Together with tropical heating and sweating, cleaning and fasting. Back in Germany, my neighbor has had an accident with his hand, nearly lost his middle finger. The doctors saved it with blue light. Amazing German doctors do light therapy, but are still not on the new PBM level. Yeah, so blue light is another form of light therapy, although it doesn't have the penetration that the red light has. So, we've seen beautiful, beautiful healing with the red light therapy for even diabetic wounds and that kind of thing. So thank you, Ralph. All the best in Thailand there. And so Carrie is asking, do you know if anyone has used your lights to help accelerate or recovery from encephalitis? Well, it turns out that encephalitis is a swelling on the brain. And the reason why our helmet or even the palm light can be used is just going to take a lot longer because the helmet is like 10 of the palm lights. That's basic. Each one of those modules is a palm light, basically. And so you're treating the whole area. So it's 10 times one of these. And anyways, with being able to treat, you can help reduce inflammation on the brain. Now, depending where, if you knew specifically where the area might be, although it might be just a general swelling, you might be able to save a little time. But if you spent about a half an hour with the palm over the whole brain, with about a third of the time being the red, and a third to a quarter of the time being the bright red, and then the near infrared being used for the rest of the time. You should be able to help with inflammation on the brain. They've found that the common denominator, that whether it's strokes, concussions, Parkinson's, traumatic brain injury, um, Alzheimer's, even autism, there's a component of swelling on the brain or neuroinflammation. And light can actually go in to the skull with the red and the near infrared, especially the near infrared, and help the brain to reduce that swelling. And that's why with kids with autism, that they've got pressure on the brain, um, they can actually see an improvement by using the light. An example would be one of the autistic young men that comes by here to our facility. If there's a storm coming on, some people with migraines notice this. People sometimes with arthritis in the knees notice this, that when there's a low pressure area or a storm is coming on, the pressure is dropping, the air pressure. And when the air pressure drops, it causes an additional inflammation. So people notice a headache coming on when a storm is coming in. Or so as it turns out that this young man, every time there's a storm coming in, he is almost uncontrollable. And the caregiver has told me that when he does the light, immediately after the light, he's able to improve, or at least he's able to work with this young man because he's not as unregulated. That's what they call it. Regulated is more even keel. Unregulated is like can't stop. And he says it just helps so if a storm is coming on a low pressure area, which would be causing additional inflammation, he's able to reverse that by using the helmet in 4 minutes. So that's a lot of fun. Yeah. So we got another question here. Um, is there a clinic in New York City where a person can try these devices? Yes, Sarnakuma. Coomer. I'm sorry, I probably didn't pronounce your name very well, but yes, if you contact our main office at info@SunPowerLED, we can probably connect you with a clinic in the New York City area. There's a number of people who are thanking us for this podcast and thanking Ellecia. So Ellecia, thank you for being on tonight and helping to share your stories with us. Gallstones. Matter of fact, it can, it's not going to help. It's not going to directly break up the gallstone. We don't have that kind of energy. You need a very, very high amount of energy to break up a gallstone. But what it could do is help with some of the swelling, in the area, which may help a person to pass that gallstone. But I can't say we have any knowledge on that yet. We go, Ken. With hair loss and queries. Okay, yes, it definitely can help with hair loss. Thank you for asking the question. And help with prior to knee replacement surgery, it's really, really good. My brother-in-law my brother had knee replacement, and they did extremely well. I know a number of people who've used it for using it prior to the surgery. The surgery can go a whole lot better because basically you're supercharging the cells to take on the trauma that they're going to get into. As a matter of fact, in the Olympics, that's exactly what they're doing. They're like, can you imagine the strain on your muscles for an event? And what they're able to do is if they do light therapy ahead of time, they can actually help with the recovery time and even get a little extra boost out of it. So yes, it can help with hair loss as well. I am not sure about cerebral palsy and schizophrenia. No idea on that front. I don't believe I don't know of any studies out there for that. The exciting thing is that soon we'll be seeing an Alzheimer's study starting up for us. And there's also some interest in getting an autism study started and a few other studies. So we're looking forward to seeing these studies start because that'll help people to be able to believe that light could do something because it's pretty hard to believe it until you had it. So Karen has also mentioned on the helmet, can you use it every day? Absolutely. I've got people that um, use it 3 times a day, so there's no challenge that way. And I do have some, you mentioned about increasing the length of time. Usually our treatment time is 1 minute and 3 minutes for a total of 4 minutes. But we have seen with migraines that doubling the time really does help. In shows that we've been at, it almost totally eliminates the migraine that a person's undergoing or a bad headache. Yes, it's not, excuse me, it's not a problem to increase the amount of time using the helmet. And I've got some biohackers that are into it where they're going for much, much longer periods of time. And yeah, so very good, very good. Let's see. Okay, Yvonne is saying, my husband and I are using the Super Palm. Thank you, Yvonne, for commenting here. For numerous aches and pains, it's amazing how much it helps. I thought I might have to have surgery on my toes because they were so painful, but after about 3 weeks of using the Palm, I no longer have pain. So thankful. Hey, that is neat. Good to hear. Good to hear. Um, so a number of people saying thank you, and Valerie, I'll try and connect you. If you send that email to info@SunPowerLED, we can try and connect the dots for you to connect with Ellecia. Um, Okay, we've I just because I don't necessarily want to share this to everyone. I'm just very thankful Boudwin has a palm light in Brooklyn, New York, and can show the person who asked about the reference in the New York for the Palm Ultimate, since we have one. They can contact me so we'll pass that along to the person. If you both people want to email us at info@SunPowerLED, we'll try and connect the dots. And yeah. Um, Beth is asking, can it help with treatment for chemo side effects? And one of the big problems with chemotherapy is the mouth. The mouth is fast replicating cells, and some people they have what's called myocarditis. Sorry, not sorry, not I'll get it. Oral mucositis. There we go. Myocarditis is for the heart. Anyways, oral mucositis, and that's when the mouth breaks down and it just ends up being one massive sore. Like they can't eat, people can't even eat anymore. And that's when they actually have to put the person on a feeding tube. And even then, they might have to stop chemotherapy altogether. But if you use the light at the same time, you can totally avoid stopping the chemotherapy because the mouth starts healing. And as a matter of fact, they've now shown that it should be a standard of care in all hospitals to do with chemotherapy. So, um, yeah, and so we're very thankful for all of the wonderful comments that you all have. And I can just say too, I want to thank you for all the listeners that are here. And I know some of you folks pray, and I would appreciate the prayers as I do quite a bit of traveling and these days to try and spread the word out there. As a matter of fact, it was pretty tough on the way back. I had a layover of 1 hour in Chicago, which is pretty tight. You know, depending on what end of the airport you're on, it takes you quite a while to get to the other side. And we were on the runway and we were just sitting there for 15 minutes while they were trying to find a gate and so my flight was going to take off. And the last thing I wanted to do is spend another few more hours. I was tired. I didn't want to spend a few more hours in the air, waiting for the next plane. Well, once we landed, I tell you, I got a chance to check out my heart muscle because I ran from one side of the airport to the other, and with my luggage, and made it. Got there just in time for them to allow me to come on the plane, and then they closed the door just a couple minutes after I got there. Wow, I was definitely out of breath from the I don't usually do a lot of workouts like that, but anyways, thank you everyone. I'm so glad you're able to join us tonight, and I wish you all of God's richest blessings. And please remember to go to our YouTube channel and watch a video or two from there. We usually are able to keep that updated a little faster. And if you like a video, please, like it. Click the like button, and because when you do, that helps us to reach out. It expands our audience the way the YouTube algorithms work, and it's pretty neat. We now also I remind you to subscribe if you're not subscribed yet to our YouTube channel. Please subscribe and like because then you'll be able to pick up the latest. When we get a video launched, we can pop it up and you'll know about it. We now have over 1,000 subscribers, so thank you to everyone who shared with their friends. It's our channel is growing, and I'm very thankful. So all the best. Have a great week. Thank you again. Bye for now.